Pet food is big business. Americans spend $16 billion every year on pet food. But many owners probably have no idea what is in the food. Resident veterinarian and early show correspondent Dr. Debbie Turner-Bell joins us with more on that. Good morning.
Good morning. In some cases, you might not want to know what's in your pet's food. You know, after the huge pet food recall, it taught us that when it comes to food, what you don't know about your pet's food could hurt your pet.
I fed my cat the wrong food, and it killed her.
Heather Lyons says her cat Gizmo ate food tainted with melamine. This industrial chemical found in wheat gluten made in China triggered the largest pet food recall in history.
The vet told us she had kidney failure. A couple of days later on the news, I saw the massive pet food recall.
When you realize that the food that you thought was safe, good quality, was the cause of your pet's death.
It made my stomach turn.
Heather returned to buying canned cat food. Even so, she's still not quite sure what's in the can, like millions of Americans. Do you know what's in his food?
No idea.
The third product is beef byproducts. Do you know what that is?
I wouldn't want to know, I don't think.
If I told you its whole carcasses could include beaks, feathers, might be a little manure, it's just all been cooked in a big vat.
That would make me sick.
Legally, byproducts can include lungs, brain, blood, stomach, and intestines. According to a poll conducted by Wellness Pet Food, 64% of the people surveyed did not know the contents of meat byproducts.
I feel bad. I mean, outside of my husband and my kids, he's like one of the most important things in my life, and I don't know what I'm feeding him.
Interaction with the pet?
Veterinary nutritionist Dr. Edward Moser says pet owners need to care about ingredients.
When you look at a pet who's not receiving adequate nutrition, the things that you see are dull, discolored eyes, watery eyes, red eyes. You see poor skin and coat condition.
It's really important to read the ingredients on the label. And the first few ingredients should be words you understand, like meat, grain, fruit, or vegetables. And avoid a brand that has too many of the 4 A's: artificial ingredients, preservatives, flavors, and colors.
Pet foods are regulated in the most bizarre way.
Dr. Marion Nessel is author of Pet Food Politics.
There's no real oversight of national regulation for pets, except for a few things that are on the labels of the cans and packages.
Which pet advocates say is how melamine ended up in pet food in the first place, and why Heather Lyons joined a class action lawsuit against Menu Foods, the manufacturer that sold the melamine-tainted wheat gluten.
Basically, what I want to happen is the government to regulate the pet food better.
The reality is most pet food is not going to kill your pet, unless, of course, there is some contamination. So that whole recall really changed the way you feed your pet.
Right? I would rather have them eat something safe than not, just like with my child.
That is so important. A couple more tips. You want to avoid foods if your pet has a sensitive stomach. There are some common allergens in foods, including beef, corn, soy, dairy, and eggs. So avoid foods that have those ingredients if your dog has a lot of what I call gastronomic events.
That's a polite way to say it.
Yeah.
Is there a way to know wet or dry?
Well, wet food simply just has a higher water content. If your pet tends to overeat, wet food is not the best because they love it and they want to eat a whole lot of it.
Right.
A dry food for a normal, healthy adult animal, particularly dogs that are active, I think is the best. Use the wet food as a treat. If you have a picky eater, use the wet food.
There you go. And in the final analysis, the best advice should come from
Your veterinarian. Work out a nutrition plan and the calories, the number of calories your pet gets into. Obesity is a huge problem for people and our pets,
There you go.
and we have to be careful of that.
Dr. Debbie Turner-Bell. As always, thank you so much.
Sure.